Next, we have Sigmund Freud. So, according to Freud, the self, its mental processes, and one's behavior are results of the interaction among the id, the ego, and the superego. So, ano ni sila tatlo? The three are considered essential parts of the human personality. The id is the basic part of the personality, and it represents our animalistic urges like ang aton desire for food and for sex. The id is the impulsive part sa aton nga personality, and it responds directly and immediately to our basic urges, to our desires. And take note, id operates on the pleasure principle. So this means that every desire or every urge dapat isatisfy immediately, regardless of the consequences. Next, the ego. So this time the ego deals with reality. So its goal is to satisfy the demands of the id in a safe and socially acceptable way. And the superego. Ang superego is the one that develops last. So it is responsible for ensuring moral standards are followed. And the superego operates on the morality principle. So ginamotivate niya ta to behave or to act in a socially acceptable manner. So, in our previous lesson, we talked about how society and culture affect the formation of the self, identity, and self concept. So, this brings us to the idea that social interaction always has an important role to play in who we think we are. And this is one of the notions presented by George Herbert Mead. Mead is an American philosopher and a sociologist, and he argued that people could develop their self image through interactions with other people. So, ano ang self image? So, when we say self image, it refers to how you see yourself. Anong pagtanaw mo sa self mo? Do you see yourself as a good person? Do you consider yourself as someone who is attractive, someone who is responsible? So, again, how you see yourself is your self image. So, as a support to the stand of George Herbert Mead, here are three reasons as to why self and identity are considered social products. Number one, society helped in creating the foundations of who we are. So class, we do not create ourselves. So this means nga ang aton behavior, our interest, our beliefs are products of our human interaction. So hindi man pwede nga pagkabata sa imo automatically may ara ka na ya specific nga set of beliefs. Hindi man pwede nga pagkabata sa imo you already have your hobbies. So as we grow, we interact, we meet, and we deal with different people. Naga-communicate kita, we exchange ideas, and through those interactions, our thoughts, our feelings, and actions are affected or are influenced. Second is we need others to affirm and reinforce who we think we are. So we need other people as reference points about our identity. So one example is ang aton nga social media interactions. Facebook or Instagram, for example, there are people who will always go after more likes, more hearts, dapat damo ka friends or dapat damo ka followers. For some, uh, kung damo naga-like sa imo nga post, kung damo naga-heart, kung damo kaya friends or followers, it will improve or reinforce sang ila nga self-concept. They will feel good about themselves if that happens. And they will feel otherwise, they will feel bad about themselves when they receive fewer likes or followers. The third one is what we think is important to us may also have been influenced by what is important in our social or historical context. For example, if you grew up in a family that values education, then studying and graduating from college becomes important to you. Another example, if you grew up in a family wherein most of your family members are prone to getting sick, pero milang kamo yan nagamasakit or damo nagamasakit sa inyo pamilya, then maybe eating healthy or ang pag-exercise becomes important to you. So with all these reasons, and I believe there are more, it is safe to assume that social interaction as well as group affiliation plays an important role in creating our self concept. And since we interact with different groups of people, it is also possible, class, now we also have several social identities or selves. Same bala nagligad, we wear different masks every day. So there are times nga we do not really notice these identities that we have. But when we do, we call it as self-awareness. So when we say self-awareness, it means that you are aware of the different aspects of yourself, including ang imong mga traits, ang imong mga behaviors, ang imong mga feelings. And if you are self-aware, kabalo ka sa imong mga strengths and weaknesses. So please note lang, class, that self-awareness can either be positive or negative. So, pwedeng ma-prevent niya ka from doing something that could put you in danger because you are self-aware, or pwede man nga on the negative side, it could make you self-conscious. Now, in connection to the concept of self-awareness, we have here two types of self that we can be aware of. We have your private self and your public self. So, di ba la class, the way you act around other people is not always the same way you act when you are alone. So, your private self is who you truly are. So, the private self is your internal standards and private thoughts and feelings. So, whatever it is that you hide from others, that is your private self. On the other hand, your public self naman is your public image, which is geared toward having a good presentation of yourself to others. So your public self is yourself that you decide to show to the public. Next, self-awareness also presents us with another three naman ka self-schema. So we have the actual self, the ideal self, and the ought self. So maghamba kita ya actual self, it refers to the beliefs about the attributes one actually has. Example, kung sino ka gid ya, so you see yourself as someone who is caring and sensitive and athletic. Your ideal self naman niya, it refers naman niya sa mga beliefs mo and beliefs about the attributes one would like to have ideally. So anong mga gusto mo tani nga anong mga gusto mo nga mga bagay. So I would love to be successful and to be popular. And ang ought self naman niya, it refers naman niya sa mga bagay nga you are obligated to have or to do. So example, I should be more ambitious and tough. Now let us proceed to the social comparison theory. So the social comparison theory was proposed by social psychologist Leon Festinger in 1954. So, the social comparison theory is the idea that individuals determine their own social and personal worth based on how they stack up against others. So we learn about ourselves, the appropriateness of our behaviors, and our social status by comparing ourselves to others. So may ara two types of comparing. So one is the downward social comparison, and the second one is the upward social comparison. So when we say downward social comparison, you compare yourself to someone who is worse than you. So as a result, your self-esteem is raised and you feel better about yourself. On the other hand, maghambal naman kita upward social comparison, you compare yourself to someone who is better than you. So as a result, your self esteem is lowered, and there is a bigger chance that you will feel bad about yourself. This is because your weakness or your weaknesses are highlighted. So take note that this type of comparison class also occurs in groups. For example, if your group is performing better than other groups, your self esteem will be increased. So, the social comparison theory also entails what is called the self evaluation maintenance theory. So, this means that we can feel threatened when someone outperforms us. Ma-feel ta nga we are threatened kung may ara mas sagad sa aton. So this happens especially when that person is close to us. Pwedeng friend ta siya or pwedeng family member siya. So as a response to the threat, may ara kita reaction or ginahimo. Number one, pwedeng you distance yourself from that person or you redefine your relationship with that person. So, ang iban, they will resort to silent treatment. So, medyo hindi sila manapak. Or, they would even change friends. Another one is, pwede nga i-reconsider mo ang importance of the skill in which you were outperformed. For example, kung napirdi ka sa basketball game, you will think nga, ay, hindi kid guro para sa ako ng basket. So what you're going to do is mangita ka sang lain naman nga sport wherein you are confident nga ma-excel ka dito para para ma-preserve mo ang imo nga self-esteem. And another one is pwede nga you strengthen your resolve to improve that certain aspect of yourself. For example, instead nga mag-quit kaya basket or maguntat kaya hampang basketball, matrain kaya. You're going to join training camps para mag-improve ang imo nga basketball skills. So that's all for Module 3. If you have questions, please comment below. Thank you.